This is Coach D from Code 31, Interviews on Demand, Zoom edition, and I have a very special guest today. Introduce yourself, young man.
Hey, Coach D, what up? Thanks for having me to your platform. Shawn Prez, everybody.
How you doing? So, Shawn, first I want to say thank you for coming on my platform and being my unofficial mentor. I love going to your classes. I miss going to your classes. So I'm grateful to have you on my platform.
Thanks for saying that.
You're welcome. Go ahead. So for the people that don't know about Shawn Prez, please give them a little synopsis of who you are and where you began, where you are now.
Okay, the short version of who I am, longtime industry veteran, worked alongside Sean Diddy Combs for many years, helping him to build what we now know as the Bad Boy Empire, everything from Bad Boy Records to Sean John Clothing to Ciroc Vodka, Revolt, and everything in between. Also have a marketing agency, PowerMove Inc Promotions and Marketing, which, you know, we've worked in all of the skills that I acquired working with Diddy over the years. I just took it and created an agency in the tactics that we use to break records. Now we use to market some of the biggest brands in the world, anything from HBO to, I don't know, like I said, Ciroc Vodka to McDonald's, EA Sports. We have a long client list spanning over close to 20 years. Well, we just hit our 20-year mark.
Okay.
So
what made you?
One more thing I'll just throw in. The founder of the Global Spin Awards, which most people know as the Grammys for the DJs.
Okay, that's awesome. And what, like growing up, what made you say, I want to go and do my thing in the music industry?
Growing up, I didn't know I wanted to be in the music industry. Okay. I'm born and raised in the South Bronx. I knew that I loved music. I knew that a huge part of my childhood was hip hop. I mean, coming up in the South Bronx in the 80s, that's all it was hip hop. I mean, hip hop was everything. The truth of the matter is, being in the music industry back then is not what it is now. Like now, that somebody could say, "Oh, I want to be in the music industry," and you're not looked at crazy. Back then, people looked at you like, "Yo, go get a real job." Like today, it's kind of accepted as this is a real, you know, industry to be in, and it can be very lucrative, especially for our people. So back then I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I like to point that out because, you know, people, they look at people like me and they think we have it all figured out, and we always had it all figured out. And I'm here to tell you, I did not. All I know is I wanted to get out the Bronx. I knew one day I wanted to be a business owner, but I spent so much of my youth confused trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And finally, when I figured out I wanted to be in the music industry, you know, it was off to the races. But I didn't figure that out until, you know, maybe like 19, 20, 21 years old.
Okay. So, like, if you could go back in time and tell your younger self what you know now in the industry, what advice would you give your younger self?
You know, it's going to sound crazy because I'm speaking against something I truly believe in, but again, I'm talking to my younger self. If I had it to do all over again, I might not have went and wasted so many years going to college. You know, I have nothing. Actually, I'm a huge advocate of formal education. I think it is reckless on so many people's parts where they tell people, "Oh, you don't need college." Like, yo, what are you talking about? You know, education, I don't care what type of education it is, it's the great equalizer. It is something that is going to put you on the same level as some of the smartest people in the room. So I always advocate for education, but education, it's not all created equal. Like yes, I believe in formal education, meaning going to school and college and all of that stuff. But I learned so much in the industry. In those years that I went to school, I could have had a head start, if you will, working at what would become my career. So I think now looking back, I probably would have went straight into the music game as opposed to, going to school. But, who's to say? Like, I just believe everything is done for a reason. It's so much that I was able to learn and accomplish, and so many connections that I made while in school. Maybe had I gone straight into the industry, it wouldn't have worked out for me the way it worked out today. So.
Okay, so you have all these platforms with your DJ thing and working with Diddy and Bad Boy. During the pandemic, how did a lot of things change for you as far as business-wise?
I mean, business sucks. Let's just call it what it is. My marketing agency, it specializes in alternative and grassroots marketing, meaning being on the ground, touching people where they live, work, breathe, have fun, chill with their friends, meaning in your hood. We are experts at getting corporate messages into the hood and doing it in a way that's kind of seamless, in a way that people don't feel like they're being advertised to. But with COVID, we living in a quarantine environment. We're living in an environment where, it's not good to be up on somebody, in somebody's face. So yes, business has gone down. I mean, we still have business, but compared to in the normal world, it's gone down. But I spend a lot of time because I wear multiple hats.
Right.
On one hand, I'm the CEO of my marketing agency. On the other hand, I spend a large portion of my time, as you know, educating, motivating, inspiring people. I have this thing that I just want to give back in the form of education, in the form of my own experience to people, through my PowerMove Makers platform, which is, at an all-time high right now. So much of what I was doing in those classes, I'm now doing online virtually. And, it has been, whereas I guess you would say my marketing, the marketing part of the business has slowed down. The mentoring and the coaching and me educating, me doing interviews with people, that part is picked up tenfold. So I'm just as busy, my time is split a little differently than it was before COVID.
And what made you say, I want to do Power Moves and give an opportunity to ordinary people to reach the celebrities or, people that they normally wouldn't have impact to meet in your classes? What made you come up with that idea?
Well, PowerMove Makers is my brand, just so you know. I've always ran with the whole Power Moves theme. So my marketing agency is called PowerMoves Inc, Marketing and Promotion. Everything that I do in some way, it uses the word power. And just thinking about the PowerMove Makers concept, why was it important for me to create it? Why was it important for me to give back? Is because when I was coming up, I told you I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And when I discovered what I wanted to do, I had nobody I could talk to. I had nobody who had successfully left the block. Everybody on the block who was successful, they were doing illegal things. And for me, I want to put a new face to what success in our community looks like. I want to change what people, because when I was coming up, like I said, if somebody was riding down the street and they had a 5-6 Series Benz, you knew what they was doing. If they was wearing expensive jewelry, dress, it had all the, money in their pocket, all the latest fashion, you knew what they was doing. But now, there's a lot of us who have made it out and are highly successful, never spent a day in jail, never sold drugs, and did it the right way. And I want to normalize it. I want to show the next generation, and not just the next generation, meaning kids or teenagers. I want to show my peers. I want to show people who right now are sitting at a job that maybe they can't stand.
Yes.
They are sitting there and they're like, yo, damn, maybe it's over for me. Maybe I have to work, for the next 15 years before I can retire. And look, I'm bringing successful people who come from your same hood. I'm bringing successful people that look like you, they talk like you. Everything is the same about you. The circumstances are all the same. The only thing is they got focused, they were driven, they did not take no for an answer, and they made it out. And I am bringing those people back so that they can tell their stories, so that they can help you on your journey by giving you gems on things that they did to become successful. So now you don't have to go through a learning curve that they went through, because they're giving it to you straight, from the horse's mouth. So this is, part of the motivation why I do what I do and why I'm so driven to really bring highly successful Black and brown people to the table. I want to hopefully inspire and just educate people to I don't care where you're at in this life. I don't care if you're locked in a cell. I don't care if you're laying on a hospital bed. Truth of the matter is, as long as you are breathing, you can do it. You can become successful.
Absolutely.
You're willing to put in the time and the work.
And I know you also work with independent artists, and rest in peace to Fred the Godson. I know you worked with him as well. He was a good guy. He actually was on our You Are Officially Booked mini concert last year. So, but I know that you also work with him and a few other independent artists.
Yes. Fred was a great friend of mine. I think he was one of the most talented rappers. I really wish that he had become bigger in his lifetime. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we lost him. But I am, and I'm a humble person, as you know, but I'm the reason people know Fred the Godson. People didn't know it was me. I was the engine behind him, and I won't just take credit myself. Me and the team was the engine behind him. So, but I love to, just like you mentioned independent artists. I don't look at it, because whether it's independent artists or it's people like yourself who are just trying to have a come up, who are just trying to take what they do to the next level, I always try to help. I always try to extend a hand and say, look, you know what? I'm not going to do it for you, but if there's a way that I can help you, then count me in. And, with Fred the God, Jacquay, and just so many of the other independent artists that went on to become really, really big and solidify their place in the game. They're just one example of just who I am as a human being, because I always try to work with people who are, might get looked over, people who others might look at as, they're not there yet, but they have potential. And I like to dig into that potential and help people realize their own potential.
That's a beautiful thing, and I appreciate you. That's why I wanted to give you your flowers while you're still here, and bring you on my platform and say thank you, Shawn, for everything that you have done thus far, for not only myself, but everybody that's in the industry, outside the industry. And I wanted to ask you a quick question, because you're around a lot of people that are very prominent in the industry. What positive things did you learn from people that you learned, in the 20 years you've been in the industry, like from Mr. Combs or whoever else you work with? Like, what tips did they give you for your own business to say, I'm going to use those tips and put it into what I'm doing now?
Well,
work ethic.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Work ethic.
Yeah, I don't know so much as what positive, but I'll tell y'all some of the greatest takeaways I got from working with some of the most successful people, not just in the Black and brown community, but on earth. One is work ethic. I mean, like you said, you got to put the work in. These people are not, let's just look at Diddy, right? He was this amazing A&R, working at Uptown Records. He's the one who A&R'd Mary J. Blige, What's the 411 album, Jodeci's first album. Then he goes on, he starts Bad Boy Records. Notorious B.I.G., Craig Mack, Mace, Faith, Total, and everybody else that was in that camp. Then he goes on, he creates Ciroc. He didn't create Ciroc, but he adopted that brand, became a partner in it, and took it from 40,000 cases to 2 million cases.
Right.
Revolt TV. And I'm saying this to say, let's say when he was A&R and Mary J. Blige album, we said he got lucky. Like, What's the 411 was a hit. Okay, you got lucky, Puff. You came back with My Life. Let's just say he got lucky. He was A&R in acts that somebody else signed, but then he signed his own acts, and he did it again with Bad Boy. Then he did it again with Sean John Clothing. Then he did it again with Ciroc. After a while, it ain't luck no more. That's the thing I'm trying to say.
Yes.
It is a purposeful intent to be successful by any means necessary. It's as simple as that. These people are driven, and they're driven at a level that most people they're going to tap out, because most people don't want to give up sleep. Most people, when things get too hard, they look for the easy way out. Most people say, you know what? I thought I wanted it, but if this is what it takes to get it, I ain't with it. So just count me out. And then truth of the matter is, and I say this all the time, success, if you really want success, it costs. And the price ain't cheap. You got to ask yourself, am I willing to pay the price? It's as simple as that. And if you can say, yes, I'm willing to pay the price, whatever comes with it, meaning I might be in a relationship and my wife, my girl, whoever, my baby mama is telling me I need you home at a certain hour. But I got to be out in the streets to get this money. Yes. You might have to look her in the face and say, this relationship is not working because it is getting in the middle of me achieving my success. And that's vice versa. You might be a female and her husband is I need you home. Like, I want you cooking dinner. And she's like, I would love to cook you dinner, but I can't be home at no damn 5 o'clock to cook the dinner. I got moves to make out here. So if you're willing to put in the work, you can be successful. And then one last thing I would just tell y'all, that's probably my greatest takeaway. I should have said this number one, but I don't care who you look at, Bill Gates, you can look at Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry. They are no more human than you. They're not superhuman. It is nothing about them that is, yes, they might be great at their craft and they might be special in some areas, but truth of the matter is they're human beings, and we have a tendency to put people up on a certain pedestal. We have a tendency to if somebody does something that we don't think we could do, or if it's just, let's just, give people their flowers. Like, if they've done something so monumental and they've done something that's just so astounding and it deserves all the praise in the world, we think that is something special about them, that only they can do it. And we don't see ourselves, we don't check that box to be like, okay, great. They just showed me that another human being can do it. So I know it can be done. So I'm about to overtake them. I don't want to be the next Oprah. I want to be the one to beat Oprah. I want Oprah calling my phone like, girl, like, I never thought I could be outdone and you just outdid me. Why don't you interview me? Instead of me interviewing you, I want to be on your show.
Hey, Shawn, you know what's ironic about what you just said? My new motto has been, I don't care if Oprah's in the room. If I'm at the same event with her, you're going to know Coach D was in the building. You're going to know Code 31 was there. That's right. Ironic that you just said that. I've been saying that the whole week. There's nobody like me in media. There's nobody else like me in media. And I don't care who's in the room with me. I don't care if it's Oprah. Shout out to her. She's earned everything she's gotten, but I'm here. And you're going to know I'm here.
And you have to believe that.
I believe
that, D. And you got to know that in every fiber of your being. You got to know that when nobody is telling you, nobody's patting you on the back. Maybe you're putting interviews out and they're getting minimal views. So what? You know, just because right now the world don't know me, don't mean that next year, the same time, something would have happened that all of a sudden, all of the work that I put in and all of the grinding and all the interviews I did that maybe nobody was paying attention to, now the whole, the spotlight is on me. The whole world is looking at me. But you got to know that in your...
I love that you just said that. I say that also. I said the world doesn't know me yet, but the world's going to know my name and say it. Everything that you're saying, I'm telling you, I know it's going to come true now. Because I haven't talked to you in a long time. And I'm telling you, I just interviewed Amadeus that worked with you as well. So I've been saying this. And before everybody, ends their interview with me, I make them say their name and say it's Code 31. So the world will know my name and say it.
That's
so
right.
I appreciate you so much, Shawn. Like, it's incredible, all the stuff that you're saying. I've been saying it. So,
I think, but you know, and we'll move on to the next question. But truth is, I could know it. When you called me, I was like, let's set it up. When you reached out, I'm like, yo, set it up. It ain't that hard, right? Like, let's set it up. But even through doing this interview, God has allowed me to be the vessel to just affirm and confirm everything that you had already been thinking, everything that you had already been saying. You're like, oh my God, Shawn, I've been saying this for the last week. Well, God just used me just as a vessel to let you know he hears you, and you need to believe that. Even when nobody else is paying attention, you need to know that deep in, and I keep saying it, in the fiber of your being, because that is the only way that he gets to work. That is the only way he gets the glory out of it, is you right now, when nobody else is looking, is making your affirmation out to the universe, and he's talking back, and he's like, okay, stay with that mindset, because I'm about to do something for you that only I could do. So I'm glad that I'm the vessel here that he's to pass this on through.
And because you've been in the industry so long, like, how do you combat like people trying to, have animosity and jealousy towards you and try to sabotage things that you might be trying to build on in this industry?
Well, I
have experienced that, even though I haven't been in it that long, but it seems like there are people that don't want to see you succeed. So if you tell them, like, I was going to do my TV show, they try to sabotage that situation. So how do you deal with that and fake love?
I don't deal with it. Truth of the matter is, I'm a very positive person. I really am. I don't buy into, I don't get caught up in, this person's hating on me, or even when people do stuff that's malicious, people do stuff to hold me down. This is business. It comes with the territory, right? Like business, I don't take business I don't take it personal. I just don't. So when people have done things that, were clearly intended to hurt me on my journey, I took it. Like, you know what? This happens in business. I'm not going to take it personal. I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to look at the situation, evaluate, and see what I should do next. But here's what I will tell you, D, and I'll tell your audience. What God got for you, can't no man take away from you. Like, people get so caught up in my haters and this trying to hold me back, and that's wasted energy.
Okay.
If you believe that the journey you're on is a purpose-driven journey, it is a journey that God got you on. What you're doing is, it has meaning. Nobody called me and said, meaning yourself, right? Nobody called D and said, D, you need to start doing these interviews. No, you felt drawn to it. You felt like, this is my purpose. I need to sit down and get into media and sit with people and pull out these gems for them to give back. That's purpose driven. And when you're doing something that is purpose driven, God is in that. That's in it from the get. When you're not doing something for money, you're not doing something for, now granted, money comes.
Yes.
I'm not going to turn it away.
Yes.
But, you know, the fame comes. But when you're doing something that is purpose driven and is coming from the purest place, God is all in that. And when God got something for you, can't no man take nothing. The man, like that's when doors get open that you didn't even know was there. That's people who, you know, the Bible says something like that, the people who despitefully use you become your foot servant. That's when, you know, people who was hating on you all the whole ride, you know, find it in their heart to be like, yo, you know what? You never gave into this bad energy. Let me do something to help you out. And you be like, how in the world did this happen? Because God got this for you. Definitely. Can't no man take that away? So honestly, I never get caught into that, you know, and I never have over all these years.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. So before you go, what is the last impression you want to leave on my audience?
Number one, I would love for your audience to go and follow me on Instagram. It's PowerMoves Prez. PowerMoves and my last name Prez. P is in Paul, R is in Roger, E is in Elvis, Z is in Zebra. And I would love, if you are into educational, inspirational, motivational content, if you are into learning from people who come from the same environment as you and they made it out and now they are willing to give back to people from that same environment, go to my YouTube channel. I have interviewed some of the most successful and wealthy entrepreneurs, celebrities in the world. My YouTube channel is PowerMoveMakers. PowerMove Maker.
Okay.
PowerMoveMakers. PowerMove Makers.
Shawn, I thank you so much. And before you go, say your name and say it's Code 31.
It's Shawn Prez, y'all, and it's Code 31.
Thank you so much, Shawn. And when you resume your classes again, I will be there.
You know something, D? I thought we was going to be able to get it off the ground. I was talking to the university, and unfortunate that, you know, we're going into what could look like the second wave of this COVID. So they wanted to shut it down for the semester. But trust me, as soon as I learn what's going on, I'm definitely doing it because it's so important for me to get back in front of people. You know that experience because you was there.
Yes.
So you'll be my first call when, you know, as soon as we get back out there, I'm committed to it.
And if you know of anybody else that would love to come on my platform to be interviewed, just let me know. And we'll do it. All right, let me get this picture of you real quick. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Shawn. And I will see you soon. And we are going for the win.
Be good, girl.
All right. Take care. Thank you.